He smiled like he always did, calm, powerful, the kind of smile that could buy silence. But that day, it broke the room. It was my birthday. The long dining table glittered with silver cutlery and fake laughter. My parents sat across from me, trying too hard to look normal. My grandfather, the man who built empires from dust, leaned back in his chair and asked, casually, like he was asking about the weather, "Is the apartment comfortable?" I blanked. What apartment? The silence was instant. My father's hand froze mid-air, fork suspended. My mother's eyes flicked to me, then to him. My grandfather turned his head slowly, his eyes narrowing as he looked at them, not with anger, but calculation. "Then where," he said, his voice low, "did the money go?" That was the moment everything shattered. The family image, the polite smiles, the years of pretending. And that was the moment my revenge began. You see, I wasn't born rich. I was born under rich people. There's a difference. My parents lived on my grandfather's wealth, the penthouse, the cars, the vacations. But none of it was theirs. It was his, and he made sure everyone knew it. I was the exception. Maybe he saw a piece of himself in me, quiet, observant, never needing to speak to make people uneasy. From the time I could talk, he tested me. Numbers, deals, loyalty. He told me once, "A family's worth is measured by who keeps the truth when everyone else trades it." I didn't understand it then, I do now. When he announced he'd be transferring properties as birthday gifts to his heirs, my parents suddenly became angels. They'd cook him breakfast, smile at his jokes, pretend they cared about his legacy. I stayed quiet, watched and waited. And then came that birthday. The question, the silence, the truth beginning to crawl out like smoke under a closed door. A week later, I found the first piece. A bank notification on my father's laptop, a transfer labeled Trust Fund Advance, Apartment Purchase. The same week, my grandfather's accountant had sent a confirmation to my parents. But the apartment didn't exist. I dug deeper. Emails, deeds, forged documents. They'd taken my grandfather's money, my inheritance, and funneled it through a fake company, using my name as beneficiary. Every paper trail led to me. If things went wrong, I'd be the one under investigation. Clever, ruthless, almost perfect. Almost. I didn't confront them, not yet. I learned from the best, from him. Instead, I started building my own plan, quietly. I met with my grandfather's attorney, under the pretense of learning the business. I asked questions that made him nervous. Legal ownership, asset transfers, trust terms. I memorized every clause, every loophole. Then I made copies. Every forged document, every falsified signature, every message that tied their greed to my name. I set a date, my next birthday. 1 year to prepare. In that year, I played the perfect child, the one who didn't know. I let my parents believe they'd gotten away with it. They redecorated the house, threw parties, posted pictures of family success. I smiled in every photo. Behind the scenes, I was working with my grandfather's auditor, the only man he trusted more than his own blood. Together, we rebuilt the trail. I arranged for every falsified transaction to surface, legally, quietly, and at the perfect time. When the day came, the same guests filled the same dining room. My grandfather sat at the head of the table, regal as ever. My parents, smug and shining, thinking they had fooled him. Until he smiled again and asked about the apartment. And I said the words that ended them. My voice was calm. My father's wasn't. He stammered something about a misunderstanding, my mother trying to smile through panic. My grandfather's hand tapped the table once, a habit he had when he'd found the truth. He pulled out a folder, printed emails, bank records, signatures. I didn't need to speak again. The documents did it for me. He looked at me once, then at them. "You used your child's name to steal from me," he said. His tone was steady, almost disappointed. I expected betrayal from enemies, not family. He turned to me, eyes soft for the first time. "The apartment is yours now," he said quietly. "Theirs isn't." Security escorted them out before dessert. They lost everything: the cars, the accounts, the reputation. My father tried to beg, my mother cried. I didn't say a word. The silence was my revenge. My grandfather gave me control of the trust, not out of affection, but acknowledgement. "You didn't react," he said. "You acted." That night, I stood by the window of my new apartment, the real one this time, overlooking the city lights. For the first time, I understood power. It wasn't money or control, it was patience. They built their lives on deceit. I dismantled it with truth. And on the same day, 1 year later, when my grandfather smiled again and handed me a glass.